By the way, there's obviously a lot there we can get into. Like, let's just go back to the first part, right? When you just said about when Caps was ADC, you were like, I think we were a good team. It's like, even the way you said that was like, that's weird. Why would you mention that? Show you the best team. I mean, you won the split. Like, you know, I heard like Caps in that interview in the press conference, and that was his favorite moment was playing ADC. I noticed two of his teammates instantly laughed and did a face palm. Like, come on, listen. Like, as far as we know, he's never going ADC again. It's okay. That nightmare episode of the fucking Crypt Keeper is over. Genuinely, over the whole split. Listen, by the end, in the finals, looked great. What do you actually think of the experiment, Caps to ADC?
I mean, I think it's like, I mean, I know like a lot of people, also you included, I guess, like said that the iteration with Perkz was better, which of course, like, when we came from Worlds, we were like a better team playing with Perkz AD carry before Caps went into the role. But I also think like the way he played was pretty similar. Like if you think back to like the first split Luca played as well when he was AD carry, it was not. There was like, of course, some differences because they're just different players, and the way they adjust into the role was different. I think maybe the meta, if Caps had like the Kaiser meta, the Saya one, he could have probably also. It was like more of a mid lane friendly transition, I think, that Perkz up. But I also think like towards the end, Spring Split was like kind of the same, honestly. Like final Spring Split with Caps and final Spring Split with, or like the playoffs, I guess part of it with Perkz was like kind of the same. And I think we didn't really, of course, the why I said like, I think we were good is we didn't really get to prove it. I mean, there was no MSI, there was nothing, right? And then we swapped back, so it was like kind of yeah. I mean, we didn't swap back because we didn't think it could work come into Worlds. It was just more of a player preference, honestly, that we swapped.
Okay.
Well, I feel like the problem.
What is your overall take on that though? Like, who did you think was the better ADC overall?
I mean, like, of course.
I was asking Dom. What did you think?
Oh, who did I think?
We can look back, you know, we've got full hindsight now.
I mean, I would say like, I would say Perkz in general. I think the team is just better when Perkz is AD carry and Caps is mid. But it seemed like Wonder wanted to answer it, so I would love to hear his take on it.
Okay, yeah, don't give us your thoughts as well, mate.
No, I mean, I would give like a really lame answer. I would just say, I mean, like from what I've seen, of course, Perkz was like the better AD carry. He's like more proven, and you never really know what would have happened going into summer, going into Worlds, you know, with Caps on AD. Sure. But I think how he like adapted into playing champions like Senna and Aphelios, which are different champs, you know, it was, I guess, like it was in a way also good for him that two new AD carries that were like permanently played got released right when he swapped as well. So he was like a bit more on an even playing field with other AD carries at learning them at least. But I think they are also way different from playing like the Ezreals and the Kaisers and the Sayas. So I think he adapted pretty well into playing them. And of course, like we all had like our issues. I think him as a player was not bad, but maybe like the combination of like Miki and Caps like in the bot lane was it was harder to get used to it for them than when Luca played for the first time bot.
Mm-hmm. One thing I was going to ask you would be, how do you feel about all these changes that end up happening? Or do you have like that much say in it, or do you just have full trust in like the fact that your teammates are just so good, Perkz, Caps, they can pretty much do whatever you want, and you're like, yeah, sounds good, guys, whatever you guys feel is best for the team, we'll do it? Like, do you ever put your input, or do you ever think it's gone too far where it's like, okay, we're swapping literally players every fucking split, can we please just like maintain some consistency here? How do you feel?
I mean, of course, like before any single move, we all get asked. And we all get asked, like, I think, like, if they say, if you don't want us to do this, or if you think it's better the other way, then we will not do it, you know? It's just never come to the point where I told them, I don't want you guys to swap, or like, I usually just say, yeah, I mean, if you guys feel like this is the best way to, like, go about it, or if you guys want, like, a break from mid lane, or if you want to go back to mid lane, or something like this, you know, then you should go for it. But of course, like I can say right now, if it was gonna happen like every single split, like at some point I would draw the line, you know. But I think how we did it and how we went about it was not the worst.
Yeah.
I
That
thought
was
a point
Marco.
you made earlier actually was one that probably we should go into a little bit more, because I think it would get lost on fans. But because he had to play bot lane, which is a totally different position, one of the reasons I was skeptical that he'd be a good AD carry is like he was obviously famous as a mid laner for occasionally just doing like wild ints out of nowhere, which is probably the most unforgivable thing at AD carry as a role. Like that's supposed to be the one where you have to be way more responsible because you can't fuck your whole lane up for the whole game. So in that scenario, like I was concerned that he'd have problems. But I do think one thing I thought's interesting, so I thought I'd get your take on this, is when I look when he came back to mid lane, dude, since he's come back to mid lane, he's almost never done that meme of like the fucking craps. Like he's just been good the whole time. Like I wonder if that like helped like somehow shift his mentality a little bit, because now it seems that he just got all the upside with none of the downside.
I mean, I'm sure like as I said, I'm sure like the weight on his shoulders when he was AD carry was way more than when he used to be mid lane, like playing the champions like Akali, Sylas, whatever, just like fucking around, getting like the one-on-one kills in side lanes. I mean, he still does that, but not to like the same extent, I'd say. But yeah, I mean, I think he's just like him as a player. He's just like very good at knowing what to do to win the game. So he just like always has like some kind of plan for himself, unless like the game is like completely in shambles, like game 4 against that one, like that game was very hard to see a play, but he always has like something he wants to do, and I don't think that changed, but for sure he's more cautious now when it comes to not like screwing the game up for his teammates. He would not like go for plays that as much before that would cost us like a lot of tempo, for example, setting up for like a lot of objectives. He would not be the guy usually that fucks that part of the game up for us. So I think he's like progressed very well when it comes to, just I guess playing with the team from playing AD carry. I think he learned a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you. So, do you think it made him a better mid laner, like the extra perspective that he gained from playing AD carry? Because I mean, for a while here in summer, I mean, it was like him and you were the people that were able to perform, and the whole rest of the team was in shambles. Like bot lane was getting killed almost every game. Yankos was falling behind in a ton of matchups. It was probably the worst splits that we've seen out of the bot lane in the jungle for G2 this last summer. So do you think that Caps is now just like upgraded from the experience of playing AD carry?
I mean, he was always like really, really insane at the game, right? So it's not like he was not able to do like all the things he did as he does right now back then. But I mean, I for sure think that he at least this year he has been way more consistent when it comes to like the claps and the craps meme, right? He's really been carrying us like for sure in both in the split, and also he really performed at Worlds, which I mean, people joked about like his past performances, like for example season 8, right, when he was like laning against Rookie. There was like some people like I remember some people like giving him flack for his Worlds performance, right? But I think he's for sure like I don't remember actually like a period of time where he was slumping, or where it was where he had like a difficult time and he needed like our help particularly much. I think he's just always been performing from I guess like summer onwards. So.